Hi Priyanshi, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Rakesh. I'm fine. How about you?
So I'm good too. Thank you. Can you tell us something about yourself?
Sure. So, my name is Priyanshi Jain, and I graduated from a Bachelor's of Engineering in a stream of Computer Science,
Mm-hmm,
where I scored 8.9 CGPA. And moving forward, uh, I took an opportunity to work as a software tester, software specialist at eClinical Works, and where my basic role is to get resolved of software technical problems and solve the customer queries related to the softwares. Where I gained my skill on SQL and communication, problem solving, attention to details, and troubleshooting like this. And later on, I got an opportunity to work as a software developer,
mm-hmm,
and I worked it for 2 months, and where I gained the skills in scripting languages, mainly in JavaScript, HTML, and CSS.
mm-hmm,
And after that, I jumped into the software testing, and I gained interest in that. And after that, I took some freelancing work as a software tester. I
mm-hmm,
built my own project in some of the websites, and since then I am looking for a QA and software testing role.
mm-hmm.
So that is all about me.
Great, great, wonderful. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so are you able to see the screen now?
Yes.
Hmm. So, tell me how you will test in this particular scenario. So you have a mobile app that has got a feature where a user can shake their phone to refresh a list of items. So how will you test this feature? Which are the different types of testing that you will perform?
A mobile app has a
Mm-hmm,
feature where
mm-hmm,
a user can shake their mobile to refresh a list of items.
mm-hmm,
Okay, so give
mm-hmm.
me some seconds
Yeah,
to
yeah.
remember.
No worries, no worries. Take your time. Take your time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm,
Uh, in this, first I'll go with the installation testing.
mm-hmm,
Uh, to install the like software, if it is a software which if we have to refresh the software, then first we have to check if it is installing from the any of the store properly.
mm-hmm,
So we'll do that, and where then I'll go with the like functionality. For example, uh, there is a sensor setting in the mobile. So we'll check if the sensor is enabled.
mm-hmm,
Uh, Again, then we'll check the responsiveness uh, of the software.
mm-hmm.
So mm, yeah, and again we'll check the internet connectivity, like if we are properly connected to the internet
Mm-hmm.
or not. So yeah, these step I will take prior to check this feature, test this.
Okay, okay. So that's a good thing. Now, when you get this kind of question, so basically you can answer in this manner.
Okay.
Mm. So you are right. You'll be doing functional testing first, right? So you'll shake the phone and you'll verify the list refreshes successfully. It should not get hanged. The phone should not get hanged, right? Then test
Yeah.
with varying shake intensities. So you shake it fast, you shake it slow, shake it in a medium manner and see how is the response. Boundary cases, you have to verify no refresh occurs between that, right? The list
Okay.
refreshes only once per valid shake. So if you're shaking it properly once, then it should be refreshed once. It should be 1:1 kind of. The- Then device
Okay.
compatibility. You can test on different devices, OS versions. If your mobile app is supported in iOS as well as in Android, then that also you can take care. Okay. Then performance test, you can check app responsiveness. You can check uh, what if the accelerometer is disabled itself. You'll check with the usability testing if the accidental shakes triggers the refresh, right? Those kind of things also you can
Okay.
perform the testing. Okay. Now, tell me one thing here. So this is fine. You have got a web application. In that you have got a scenario or a feature of search. Okay, search functionality is there. Now, everything is provided in the requirements in the Jira user story. Okay, but at the time of testing, at the time of doing QA, you came across some new scenarios or maybe some new test cases. Okay, and now you feel that the time, the estimation that you have given to complete this user story testing, to complete this feature testing, maybe it was 2 days, but now it might take 5 days. Instead of 2 days, it might take now 5 days. Okay, so
Hmm.
what would you do in this scenario? You had
Okay.
earlier given the estimation it would take 2 days, sorry. Okay, now it's gonna take 5 days. So what would you do?
Okay, so let me clear it once.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we have functionality and we have to test it. It is a feature, and the requirements are given in Jira, and we have a limit, a time limit to test
Mm-hmm.
in 2 days, but here it is extended in 5 days.
Yeah, it's not about time limit. You were asked about the estimation. Earlier, you gave the estimation as 2 days. At the
Okay.
time of grooming meeting, you gave the estimation as 2 days. Now, after starting the testing, you feel there is more that time that you might need to complete this testing. So it might get extended up to 4.5 days, right? So
Okay.
what would you do in this scenario?
Okay. Uh,
Mm,
First of all, I'll document it, like what I did in 2 days, and
mm,
what need to be done in left 3 days, like I took. So I documented, and with the proper documentation, I will talk to my manager or lead, which
correct.
are
Very
responsible.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll make them understood that these things we have to do, and I'll tell about also uh, if I do it in a, like if I if we do not do these things,
Mm,
so what causes we may have. So I'll go with the documentation and I'll showcase them
mhm.
with the proper details.
Okay. So one thing is good. You're going with the documentation. Second point that you told that is also valid. You'll have a word with your leads managers so they can have a word with the stakeholders, with the client,
Hmm.
and then the transparency is maintained, right? With the client, the transparency is maintained. The client should not be expecting that this particular story would be completed in 2 days, whereas it is going to take 5 days, right?
Yeah,
So that is very important, right? That you have to take care. Okay. Now, can you tell me about what is the difference between smoke and sanity testing?
sure. So in some of the cases, So smoke and sanity are similar,
Mm,
little similar, but the specific difference is perform in like in very repetitive cases.
mm,
And to be specific, we perform smoke testing
mm,
when we get a stable build, and we check all the functionality whether it is working fine or not. And yeah, and it is very opposite that sanity testing we perform in usually unstable build, and
mm,
after smoke testing we perform sanity testing. Once we receive unstable build, so we perform sanity testing to check the same functionality is working fine or not.
mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So sanity is deep level testing. Smoke is a very high level testing, right? Smoke testing you would be doing when you get the build and you'll check whether the build is eligible for further testing or not. Well, sanity testing you will perform in a very detailed manner, deep level of testing. You'll test everything at the time of sanity testing, right? So that is your sanity
Okay.
testing. Okay. What is security testing? Are you aware about security testing?
Um, Security testing. Maybe it is applicable in some of the different sectors.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like banking sector, we have
Mm.
to perform security set testing.
Okay.
For example, the account number of bank account number is hidden and last four digit are visible.
Mm.
So just to make sure that four numbers would be only visible and others are hidden. So this can be the example of security testing. We do it in
Mm-hmm.
any banking software.
Okay. So first of all, you have to tell about security testing is the important information like credentials, passwords, sensitive information should not be coming in the plain text. In the security testing, you do two types of testing. One is the authentication, one is the authorization. Whether you are authenticate to use that particular thing, or let's say authorization, maybe you have multiple screens and you have created different users with different roles. You have assigned few of the permissions. So with that permissions only, they should be able to use or access some of the screens or some of the pages of the application. It should not be open for all, right? So those kind of aspects you can test. And from the database perspective also, you can check that the things are not stored in the plain text English language, right? So those kind of things you have to take care. Okay,
Okay, yeah,
now
I
this,
noted.
yeah, great. So this is a screen now. It's a screen in which you can upload a screenshot, right? So you have to come up with the high level test scenarios. Which are the high level test scenarios for the screen?
Okay.
Mhm,
Um, so first of all, I'll check all the formats which is
mhm.
mentioned, and also which are not mentioned, which will be the negative test case.
Great, great. Yes. Then,
This thing, and the second is I'll check also with internet or without internet connection,
great.
and and uh, optional. Okay. So I'll go with uploading these formats or not uploading this format, because it is mentioned that it is optional. So we'll check if the form will submit or will work
Mhm.
like that or not. Um, yeah, this I can think.
Okay. So, you covered important positive and negative scenarios as well. Right, so that was good. No file selected. So you can also have one of the test scenario for validating the content that has been written. JPG, GIF, and PNG. Tomorrow, if you are trying to upload multiple files, is it getting uploaded or is it a single file? What would happen when you will do
Yeah.
concurrent testing? How much time is it taking? So that kind of performance-based scenarios also you can add. If then you can also check if the file is really getting uploaded on the server by checking on the server whether file is uploaded. It should not happen that you get a confirmation message, you get a success message there, but file is
Mm.
actually not uploaded itself, right? So those kind of things should not
Mm.
happen. Low. Okay, besides
Yes.
that, if this feature, this application is going to get converted into the internationalization tomorrow, then you can also have a checkpoint for this content should be changed into the appropriate languages where in the country this application would be used. Clear?
Okay.
Right? So those kind of things you can discuss. Okay. Can you tell me about a defect with low severity and high priority?
Low severity and high priority
Priority.
defect.
Mm.
Okay. Mm.
Any defect is fine.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let me think for a second.
Mm.
Okay, low severity and high priority defect will be, for example, a website's logo.
Mm.
If it is not, uh, the name is not is misspelled, so it will not affect the functionality of a software, but it will affect the uh, company's reputation. So this is the case of low severity and high priority.
Okay. What about vice versa? High severity and low priority.
High severity and low priority.
Mm.
Um,
Any example if you can recall? Mm.
yeah, the logging functionality
Mm.
may be the example of high severity, because if it is not working, so it is a main functionality.
Mm. But high
Mm,
severity, that is high severity, you are correct. But what about low priority? Any defect which is high severity, okay, but has got low priority.
okay, let me
Mm.
think of it. Mm. For example, if there is a link in a website which is like nested and will take you to the a different tab, and for example any any referred website, if a company has, and it will take to the different website, and if the link is not working, so
Okay.
I think it will be the case. I may be wrong.
So one of the link is not working is what you are telling.
Yeah, like you can.
So it's a high
Sorry.
severity issue because one of the link is not working, you are telling. One of the link is not working on the web page, right?
Yes.
So it's a high severity issue. But the priority also would be high. So I want an example of a defect with high severity, low priority.
High severity and low priority.
Mm.
Um,
So let me assist you here. So let's consider there is a screen
yeah.
or there is a page in your web application which would be used. They'll start using it from 25th December onwards. That is Christmas or any other festival onwards. But still you have time. But if you go to that page, if you land to that page, you're getting unauthorized or you're getting server error, those kind of errors you're getting. So severity is high, but priority is low because as of now, those pages are still in development.
Okay.
Okay, no one has completed working on those things, right? So that's how you can tell. Okay, now tell me the answer for this particular scenario. You have an e-commerce website, okay, and it has got the buy now button. The price dynamically changes based on promotion. So how will you test the buy now functionality?
Rakesh, I cannot see the screen.
You're
Like,
not
what
able
is
to
it?
see the screen? Okay, let
Yeah,
me
it is
share
in
again.
black background.
Okay, now is it visible? It would take some
No,
time.
I think my network is something low.
Hmm. Okay, okay, no worries, no worries. Uh, Tell me, uh, in which tool you're designing test cases?
Okay, so for designing test cases, we can use Jira,
Mm-hmm.
Bugzilla, and yeah, these I can recall now.
Okay. Any specific defect that you have found in your career so far, for which you got some appreciation or some kind of reward, awards from the companies?
Yeah, I actually in my starting of my like in my first experience, so we have to solve customer queries
Mm,
and uh, no, we so customer create cases to
mm,
solve the so like cases and we are solving them and there was a past customer they have not created any cases but they sent a mail for their queries to me personally like
mm,
using the company's mail of course but they send me the mail personally and
okay.
they just got stuck somewhere they have to solve in urgently they don't have time to create cases so it's a issue where I have solved and like they thanks me and they appreciate we can see in our teams that we got appreciate everyone can see she
Mm,
mentioned that I by solving every cases we get rewarded and we have to solve cases quickly and I help her without creating without any cases in my list so she thanked me for that. I don't
okay.
know if I explained you right but
So you
eh,
had to create some cases or maybe test data generation, I would say.
yeah.
And then those data were taken with the client and they verified everything was done well and that's why they appreciated you. Is it the perfect understanding?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. So these cases, do you do testing in those cases as well?
uh, Rakesh give me a second like there is a
Yeah,
I cannot hear you.
yeah. Now, am I audible? Hello.
Wait. Yeah, I can hear you, but it is some of buffering in between.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Now, is it clear?
Give me a second. Let me
Yeah, yeah.
change my location.
Sure, sure. Yeah, fine. So, can you tell the answer now?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. So I was asking, uh, we were having a discussion with respect to defect. Yeah, any appreciation you have got with respect to any defect. So you were telling that you have solved some of the cases and then you got some appreciation in those. that sense. Okay. So in their cases, you were doing some testing?
Yeah, the basic testing we perform.
Mm-hmm.
Like in some of the cases, we also found out the bug which is in the production. So we report to the developers and the main QA who will fix it. So, for example, I can recall it now as there is a for example there is a form and we have to select uh, we have to select a different list in an input. So which is not performing in that form, like we cannot able to select it and it is not visible in that input.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the resolution for that, like we have to go to the different path and we have to perform the same thing on a different form, so it will replicate the same thing. Like we can correct it from the different form uh, which is not happening in the main path. So like this was the defect, and yeah, there are some of the defects like.
Okay. Fine. Great. Okay. How will you check whether the build is old or not? How will you check that?
The belt is what?
Old or not?
The belt is old or not? Um, to check the belt is old. Uh,
Mm-hmm. How will you check whether the build is old or not?
so we can go like usually
Mm-hmm.
uh, we went to the about section or we'll check
Correct.
the current version of.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So you will check the version of the build if it is matching your the email that has been lastly sent by the DevOps team or by the development team. Right.
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
So those kind of. Yeah.
you
So
can ask me that the question you
yeah.
like
So the question was, how will you
where the
come to
screen is
know?
not.
Yeah, yeah, I can ask you that question. Okay, fine. So, yeah, now is it visible?
Yes.
Mhm. So you have an e-commerce website with a buy now option button. The price is dynamically changing based on promotions. How will you test the buy now functionality?
The price is dynamically changed on promotions. Okay. How will you test the buy now functionality?
Hmm.
Give me some seconds to think
Yeah,
about.
yeah, no worries, take your time.
Okay.
Hmm.
So first, I'll log the before the price was like I'll take a screenshot the before the price changes and after the price changes,
Hmm.
and check maybe do some analytics when in what time it is getting changed, and when then I'll proceed and check if it is displaying the correct price in the checkout page or in the product page.
Hmm.
and should be it should be in a sync. uh, and I'll also go with the requirements,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll check the requirements. Is it matching with the current scenario? Um, I have a doubt. Like, what is
Mm-hmm.
it means that it changes based on promotions?
Right, right. So here, promotion. So sometimes, festive season is there. So offers will be there 5%, 10%. Sometimes festive season might not be there. So there will be no offers. Sometimes a very big festival is there, like Diwali. So again, a big change in the uh, price or maybe the discount, those kind of things. So every time the uh, price might change here, right? So what you have to do is you have to come up with few of the scenarios like the price with a discount, price without a discount, what is normal price, price with less discount. So those kind of test scenarios you'll have to design. How you'll design these test scenarios? With the help of equivalence partitioning. Equivalence partitioning is a testing technique with the help of which you'll identify various classes for testing. Which class, like which range, which discount, not discount, valid, invalid, those kind of range you'll design in your testing, and then you'll start the testing. So that's how you can answer for this particular question, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Priyanshi, I am done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Like I want you to give me a feedback about
Feedback.
this interview
Sure.
and what things I have to improve.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. I'll give you the feedback. Let me stop.